Hello everybody and welcome to another Isolate Together with Us Battleground Games live thing with the lying opening credits. The opening crawl, or the opening...
Does it say coming to you from
Yes,
the
coming
store?
to you from Battleground Games and Hobbies.
We do have a lot of board games in our apartment.
But they belong to us for the most part. I brought some demo games home.
The majority of the games in our apartment do belong to us, but we couldn't open our own game store. We don't have quite that many games because we don't have quite enough space. Maybe someday.
So yes, hello Lobster of Revenge. Welcome. I'm Andrew. Hi. And with me is
Amanda.
my wife Amanda. And
I didn't say my own name.
Yes, I'm sorry. For quite a long while, we have been streaming every Friday evening at 7:30 board games from my workplace, Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. Battleground Games and Hobbies is your friendly local game store in the greater Boston, Massachusetts area with 3 locations, one up in Saugus, one down in Norton, and one in Abington. And it is currently not available for business because of the current situation. So what we've been doing is we're continuing to stream. We're still playing board games on stream, but we're doing it from our apartment. So we invite you, our friends in the internet, to isolate together with us and hang out with us and enjoy board games with us.
Yeah.
We've played a whole bunch of stuff since the isolation began.
We've now been doing Tuesday nights as well. So we've
It's
been
true.
doing 2 streams a week, which means we have kind of burned through a lot of our board games.
I have a
We're
game.
going to have to start repeating ourselves.
Yeah, I have a game that I want to play, but it is a step more complicated than what we normally do on stream.
Yeah.
And will probably take us a longer time slot, so we might have to start earlier or something. So we weren't going to do that today. Instead, we decided to play one of Amanda's favorite games, Neom, Create the City of Tomorrow, which is a tile drafting game where you construct a city. But we decided to play the solo variant.
Yeah, it can work as a co-op game, so we're going to give that a go.
I have been streaming a lot today, and Amanda had a busy day as well with D&D stuff.
Yeah. I've determined that I can use Roll20, but gosh, is it unintuitive. It is one of the least intuitive pieces of web software I have ever laid hands on, and I do web development for my workplace, and goodness knows that's not intuitive.
Yeah.
But we also determined I had been told the chat feature on Roll20 is not great, like the audio.
But we hadn't been told
chat.
specifically what about it was not great.
Yeah, I hadn't been told exactly what was wrong with it. Is it just that it's, not distinct? Is it that it doesn't drown out background noise? What exactly is wrong with it? And I hadn't really gotten a solid answer from anyone. Its problems are manifold. One of the problems is that it is definitely, it doesn't drown out background noise.
It doesn't do any post-processing.
Yeah.
It just sends the noise straight through.
I could hear not only myself, but everything going on in the background.
And typing and eating and...
Yeah. We had a couple of our D&D kids join us for a test run. These are kids who have been in our D&D programs for a couple of years. You did watch my water cycle video. Thank you.
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah. We just recorded yesterday the next one.
Yeah, the next one is already up as a premiere.
Yep,
so you
it's
can
scheduled.
set a reminder for that. And over the weekend I want to film another one. I just need to find if I have what resources I need to have to put it together. I think I'm just doing oobleck next, so...
Okay, yeah.
That should be pretty easy. It's cornstarch and water. It's going to be a short one. But there are a lot of things you can do with oobleck, so we'll play around with that. We'll play with a non-Newtonian fluid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what we determined while having these two kids join us, because I wanted just more than me and Andy, because I figured having 3 or 4 people would give us a better understanding of its foibles, is that, yeah, the chat is not great, not only because it doesn't filter out background noise, but because it keeps dropping and then reconnecting, but not reconnecting properly. My mic is not working. Am I still muted?
Oh, are you still muted?
You muted me earlier, did you not?
I unmuted you.
I'll
turn you up properly. A bit. There. Turn you up a nudge.
Well, I definitely wasn't up at the same level as you, so.
Yeah.
And you were speaking quite loud, so of course I was coming across very quietly. Yeah, what we discovered, yeah, Andy had me turned way down, so that would explain it. What we discovered is that the Roll20 chat feature is just, it's very patchy. It's very glitchy.
Yeah.
So I do have to use a secondary option for chat. That being said, if I go with modules that have pre-generated characters, or if I pre-generate the characters myself, then I don't need to worry about the character creation stuff, which is good, because I really didn't want to have every kid come in with 3 different accounts. That seemed like overkill. So yeah, what we learned was that I will probably be able to run D&D programs for my library, which is exciting because I miss doing it. And given what I have gathered from Roll20, I think I will be able to do some really good stuff. I did pose this to one of my coworkers. Do you think my boss would let me just forego all other programming and just run D&D programs for the foreseeable future? Just run remote D&D for the library, just be the library's D&D person, and host game after game after game of Dungeons & Dragons. And
how'd that go over?
I didn't propose it to Julie. Okay. I chatted with, and Carrie was like, I don't think Julie's going to let you stop doing story times. And I was like, well, I'm not doing story times right now, so.
Anyhow, so we did that, and it was a learning experience.
Yeah, there were definitely some things I was having trouble with that I was able to clear up, so that was good.
Yep.
There were some things that were not intuitive, and I was able to figure out how they actually work as opposed to how one would assume they worked.
Yeah.
Like the maps.
Oh yeah, that took a while to figure out.
There's a whole tab that says maps, and when you click on it, there's nothing there. And then, what was it, like game page?
Oh yeah.
Like the page reference tab is where the maps are. Not helpful, Roll20.
I'm supposed to only have 1+ tiles, and I just shuffled everything together for the cornerstones.
Ah.
And I have been streaming pretty much all day since 8 in the morning, which I did to myself.
Yeah, you did that to yourself. You made those choices.
I made those choices. I'm trying to find where on the tile. Oh, there. Yeah. It's been a while since we've played this, and I don't remember where on the tile it indicates what is. Yeah. But yeah, I streamed some Animal Crossing at 8 in the morning. And then at about 9:15, 9:30, I streamed some Beat Saber. And then I took a break. And we did D&D. And then I did Arcade Spirits, which is awesome.
Yeah. Arcade Spirits is great.
Played that from about 4 o'clock until about 6 o'clock. So about 2 hours of that.
Because I zonked out around like 5-ish.
So yeah, had a ton of fun. All right, so number of players is in the lower left-hand corner of the tile, according to this. So yeah, we've had a long day. We thought we'd play something that we're a little bit more familiar with, and something that Amanda is a huge fan of. So we're going to play some Neom. However, we have never played it single player, so this is going to be a learning experience as well. This is going to be us figuring out how to do this while we're hanging out with you, our friends in chat. All right, so these...
Did you figure it out?
I did not. These are the cornerstone tiles. So the single-player variant of Neom, basically you're just drafting from piles, not drafting and like passing tiles to anybody else. And there's a little bit of setup involved in that you have to decide what tiles you're going to use.
And it does say in the single player one that you can choose to use the 5+ tiles or the 1+ tiles.
Yeah.
But that you'll have higher scores, like a higher score at the end if you're using the 5+ tiles because they're worth more points in the end.
It may well be that cornerstones are all valid.
Yeah, I don't think the cornerstones have a number of players on them.
Okay. So the first question that we have is, do we want to play with just the 1+ tiles, which will be a shorter game?
Yeah.
Or with the 1+ and 4+ tiles, or with the 1+, 4+, and 5+ tiles, which will be the longest game and give us the highest possible score. It looks like this is just a score run. You're trying to get the highest possible score you can, and then they have a little table that you can look at to determine how well you did. Like, are you an intern, apprentice, fellow, foreman, master, or boss? And it all depends on how many points you have by the end of the game. Which sounds cool. Low pressure.
Yeah.
We had already determined that we're going to remove the disasters and the various
tiles
police
that
departments.
Deal with the disasters.
Yeah, the police department, the fire department. I feel like there's another one.
Yeah, there's
hospital.
A fire. There's a fire, a flood, and a riot. I think are the three, or like crime spree.
Yeah.
Are the three disasters. What I've always found, we've played this game twice. The first time we only played a disaster at the end because John likes chaos.
Yeah, he was not choosing what to play. He was just
blind drafting.
Yeah, exactly.
And he happened to blind draft. We managed to get through 2 full rounds without anyone drafting the disaster, and then he blind drafted it. And then when we played it the second time, we played it during our Extra Life marathon, and one of the guys that we played with had been under the impression that if it was one of the last 2 tiles, you had to take it. Because you're always going to end up with 1 tile left over at the end of the draft when you're playing the competitive game. I don't know about this one. But he had been under the impression that if at your last draft you had the disaster in hand, you had to take it. You couldn't take one of the others. You had to take the disaster. That is not true. We looked in the instructions. I was like, I don't think that's how that works. And he was like, no, it is. And I was like,
totally
no, it
choose
is
not to take the disaster.
You can
pitch
definitely
the disaster.
choose to pitch the disaster. And he was like, no, I'm sure that's how it works. And we looked it up in the instructions, and no, you don't have to take the disaster. I found that the disasters are just frustrating. And they're not a challenge to work around. They're not like an interesting challenge. They're just annoying. And why would I leave a just annoying mechanic in the game? Why would I do that to myself?
So we'll take the disasters out.
So yeah, we're going to take the disasters out.
But that still doesn't answer the question. Do we want to do a longish game with more tiles or a shortish game with fewer tiles?
I have until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. I'll use all the tiles except the disasters and their related
Sure.
things.
Let's do it. See what we can end up with.
So we have to find and remove disasters and their related things. I will pass to you a pile here. Here's the second year ones.
Yep.
And then I think we just make equal sized piles of everything.
I think so.
And then there's instructions for how to reorganize stuff. Lumber.
Lumberman. The power of lumber. So, Lobster, how are you doing?
Have a busy day. There's the fire department.
Yeah, I found the police department.
There's the flood.
Found the fire. Not too busy? I sort of crashed today. Today was a day that I got D&D stuff done, but I feel like I just crashed.
Well, and I can't blame you because you basically got up when I got up.
Yeah.
And I got up at...
You got up early.
I got up at 7. After Clara woke us up at 5, which she always does. And we were up until 2.
Your project sites are opening again?
Ah.
Masks, gloves, signs, sanitizer. Yeah, good. Ordering all that stuff. The library has been having a lot of conversations about, what are we going to do when it comes time to reopen? The city has recognized that as a gathering place, which we are, we should be one of the last services to reopen in the city.
Did you remove 3 tiles from that bag?
I removed 5 tiles. Police department. There were 2 police departments, 2 fire departments, and a fire.
Ah, okay.
Because I think this was stage 2, so it's building upon.
So we're not going to have neighbors that we can pull from unless we're building more than one city. I'm not certain. I have a feeling we may want to have access to Zoom Cam today, just to show off things. Though I don't know how much information is provided by showing off the tiles themselves. One thing that this game has a lot of is pictograms. It shows you pictures that tell you what things do. It has the name of... there's a crime spree. It has the names for things. And then sort of a rough picture, and you're supposed to intuit from that how it actually works. There's a hospital. What does it do? No, the hospital...
I feel like the hospital is not how the flood is dealt with.
Yeah.
Can I
see there's the police department.
Can I see the instructions?
Sure.
How was the lemon meringue pie? Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very decent lemon meringue pie. I am sorry that whoever ordered it did not get it.
Yeah. All right, so I found one police department, and...
Resolving a disaster on page 5. So let's look. Flood.
There's another police department. Okay, I think that's everything. Disasters removed.
Yeah, one tile from each generation deck is different from all the others, depicting one of 3 disasters. Flood in first generation, Fire in second and crime spree in third. If a disaster is selected by a player, it activates a negative effect for all other players at the end of the current turn, causing them to lose money or tiles in their city. Selecting the disaster protects you from its effect, but you do not get to take an action that turn. If no player selects the disaster in a given generation, it will not happen.
There you go. Yep.
A guilty pleasure, more guilty than usual, maybe? Yeah, a little bit. It's a lemon meringue pie tinged with guilt. I'm eating someone else's pie. Yeah, there are only 2 protection tiles, fire protection and police protection. There is no protecting against the flood because you're still in round 1, so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, fire departments are available in the first and second generation decks. They protect themselves and all nearby up to the 8 surrounding tiles from fire. Police departments are in second and third. They protect from crime spree.
Cool. Hey.
So yeah.
So, do you want to go to the single player instructions?
Yes. Atlas Brood, are there any board games you play with stream? Yes, we do have board games that we play with the stream. We are not playing any of them tonight. But,
although if we close very early.
Yeah, if we finish early, we could break out Obscurio or Mysterium.
Or we could do a Dark Stories.
We could do Dark Stories, yeah. Obscurio and Mysterium are ones that involve the chat a lot more. Dark Stories is more a question and answer. It's like a 20 question sort of game. So there's not really any stuff on the table to look at.
And we played just one with chat.
That's right, we did play just one with chat.
That was fun.
So we could play that too.
Yeah.
We do have that. It
so
is right
the answer
there.
to your question is yes. There
We
are
do.
board games that we play with chat.
Yeah. Just tonight's game, at least the first one, is not a with chat game.
Yeah.
Alright, solo game. Just one worked great. Besides board games, what do you guys do? This channel is almost all board and card games. We do play Magic every so often.
Role-playing games.
We have played some role-playing
games. In the YouTube
games.
archive, you'll find several role-playing games.
Yeah, if you look down below the video feed, you'll find a link to our YouTube channel. Any Warhammer stuff? Not right now, because neither Andy nor I have enough Warhammer stuff at home, where we are.
I have my Tau, but I don't have a second army.
So we couldn't really
But I've
play.
been doing a little bit of painting on stream. I haven't done that
Miracle
in a while.
of Sound, yes. We love Miracle of Sound.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see him live in concert twice.
Yeah.
He's great.
Gavin Dunn. Awesome.
Yeah, Gavin's great. Very nice guy. Very nice. He's just a real pleasant guy. But yeah, we don't have enough Warhammer stuff to play it at home. We had actually purchased lav mics, wireless lav mics, so that we could set up Warhammer streams in the game store so that the people playing could be moving all the way around the tables and not be tied with a corded mic, but had not gotten much of that set up to film prior to the stores closing because we can't have gathering places right now. So we are streaming from our living room, even though normally we stream from the game store. When we can be with other people again, and it is safe to be having relatively close contact with other people sometime in the future, we will definitely be trying to set up some Warhammer stuff because it was 100% a thing that we had on the docket.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, we want to be able to do it. We have a good space for it.
I brought home...
We do painting.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily do much in the way of Warhammer right now in our house in terms of the actual gameplay. But Andy's been painting his Tau, and yeah. Do we know any fun games that might be free online to play with your partner? There are a couple of online tabletop simulators. Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah. But I don't know about free.
Yeah, well, I feel like Tabletop Simulator has some free stuff. It's just not the really, fancy stuff. Hold on a second. One of my coworkers gave me Crud. I don't know where I saved the link. I'll see if I can find it. There's a bunch of and we'll toss it in the
various
Discord
board games that are available in digital versions on Steam. Like Talisman, we had Talisman on Steam.
It's true. Any game, really, board games, even as long as it's more cooperative. Tabletop Simulator is $20 to buy, but there's a bunch of mods for free once you own it. Okay.
Thanks, Nate.
Including Warhammer stuff.
That's true. Nate's been talking with folks in the Discord about Warhammer. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lot of folks in our Discord who want to play some Warhammer.
Yeah, Atlas Brood, if you are not on our Discord, there's a link for that down below our video as well. Please do hop in the Discord. It has been a lot more lively now that everyone is stuck at home. And
yeah, there's folks playing tabletop games there, mostly Thursday nights, I think.
But definitely check it out, because there will definitely be people in the Discord who will have suggestions for you.
Yeah.
There are people who have been doing a lot more research on it than we have, because we have a ton right here. We are a couple that started a tabletop game store. We don't own the store.
No, we just work there. Or I work there. Amanda hangs out there.
I hang out at the store and do streaming and stuff. I've been streaming painting streams regularly for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to watch me paint, I have tons of painting streams archived at this point. But yeah, I don't work there. Andy does at the moment. No one works there, but it sounds pretty fun. It is awesome. Battleground Games and Hobbies. Figurine painting. Yeah, I actually, Andy, if you can mute me for a second.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll show you something.
Why don't you pass me the instructions while you do that? I'm going to try and figure out how to do this thing.
Oh no, I lost my baffle again.
Of course you did. All right. So, preliminary round.
You were saying about maybe like
gluing the baffles on? Yeah. Shuffle the cornerstone tiles. Oh, thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow.
Welcome, welcome. Shuffle the cornerstone tiles and place 3 stacks of 4, 3, and 2 cornerstone tiles respectively face down. Return the remaining cornerstone tiles to the box. Turn the tiles from the 4 tile stack up and choose 1. Discard the rest. The same for 3 and 2. So we'll have 3 cornerstones by the end. Then choose which generation tiles you will use. In each generation, shuffle all of the tiles and split them into 8 packs of equal size, containing 3, 4, or 5 tiles each. Place the packs face down in a row and move tiles from one pack to another as follows. That's fine.
Oh, I found
Clara will find it.
I found it, so we don't have to worry about the cat finding it and us finding it in the cat box.
And then return the 8th pack to the box. Okay.
Alright, you can unmute me. Only 3 more follows to reach 250? Hot damn.
Wow.
Alright, this is a game that we probably will play on stream at some point. This is the Highlander, the board game.
There can be only one.
There can be only one. This is actually legit a really fun game.
So it's from River Horse.
Yes, it is a River
Horse. They do
a
lot
game.
of licensed properties.
And if we can move to Zoom
That's what I'm trying to get the Zoom cam plugged in. I didn't plug it in because I don't want it to freeze the stream up.
Well, we'll only plug it in while I do this. So this is one of the figures that I painted for the Highlander game. This is a character created for that board game. The video of me painting her is up on our YouTube. I also painted a different version of her for my friend Sarah, and I think that's trapped at the store right now.
Yeah.
See, I paint board game figures. Did I do the flower patterns? Yes. That was freehanded. I did the camo on her. Yeah, I think my expansion and both of Sarah's copies of the games are stuck at the store. You rather like it. Looks authentic. Thank you. This was the biggest pain in my butt. The striping on this was the worst. It's supposed to be very gauzy fabric. Your favorite is the Japanese lady? Yeah, she was super, super fun. I painted a different kimono on, I actually have a photo of it somewhere. I painted a different kimono on my friend's copy of the game. I bought a copy for a friend of mine. We are both super into Highlander. And I found a gray kimono online that it's gorgeous. It's this beautiful gray and black and white kimono with a willow branch pattern. And I painted it I used that as the model to paint my friend's copy. I know I took photos because I texted them to her.
Bet you have a lot of photos in your phone.
I do, mostly of the cat.
Shocking.
We have a very adorable cat. She's gorgeous, and I love her. I can show you, you haven't seen Highlander yet beside the memes? That's okay. Go to overhead for...
Oh, sure.
For this.
I don't know if that's going to come across.
I did the Dark Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
Board game.
Can we...
Yeah. Don't try to do it when you can't see the picture. You'll end up just scrolling through my phone.
Yeah, the Dark Crystal figures are gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's another River Horse game.
River Horse does beautiful, beautiful models. What's the background of Highlander? That would take me a while. It's goofy, is what it is. Hard to see, but you can tell the detail. The figures are gorgeous. They take paint very nicely. So, let us get this started, and then I will tell you about Highlander. I'm always happy to talk about Highlander. What board?
Raw resource do we want to start with? We have boards that have coal, wood, oil, or grease, or stone. Or do you want to just choose randomly?
Random. You'll get some tea stuff going and drop by in a bit. Cool. Tea is a good thing.
Yes, Amanda's got some tea.
High drama, great art, and complete schlock, but sort of fun. It's a good summation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lobster, what was the movie we saw that had Christopher Lambert stuck in a high-tech prison? It was very 80s. Oh, you can tell what resource these have on the back, so this won't be completely random. Yeah, okay. Here, choose one. What'd you choose?
I chose propane.
And propane-related accessories?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Not the one in the Paris Metro?
No, I don't think so.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not the one to talk to. That is mostly off screen because all the resources. We don't need all the resources on screen.
No.
We need the resources, but we don't need the resources to be on camera. There we go.
Okay. So what we are going to be doing here is we're going to be drafting some tiles and trying to build the most profitable possible city with the tiles that we draft. It probably will not take that long. We'll see. There's probably going to be some debatage, some collusion to determine what we feel is the optimal tile to draft. We've got all these resources that are available. The last time we played this, which I believe was during the Extra Life 25-hour gaming marathon, Amanda
that was when we did it.
Pretty darn well.
I did.
So
I was real damn proud of myself, let me tell you. Because I was playing with someone who I like. I like this guy. But we had played Ex Libris with him, and he won handily. Because he was the only person in the group who had ever played it before, and he had the scoring guide in hand, and he's the one who did all the scoring. Like, he knew how to score, and therefore he knew what would get him points. And the rest of us were sort of flying blind. You know, going on, but first time you play.
Yeah.
So he won. Okay. And me being a librarian, there had been a lot of jokes about how, well, obviously this was my game to lose, but it doesn't really have much about being it doesn't really have anything to do with being a librarian. It's just book themed. And, you know, at the end of the game, he won and I didn't. And okay. But then he went down and commented to one of the guys behind the counter, yeah, I won. I guess being a librarian doesn't help, but being a gamer does. Them's really? Fightin' words, buddy. Fightin' words. Because that implies that I'm not a gamer. Me. Not a gamer.
So no. You felt some vindication when you clobbered him at Neom.
So badly. So, I guess being a gamer doesn't help. Fortress, Lobster suggests. Did we
That's the one.
All right, there you go.
That's
Fortress.
the movie. Yep. I remember seeing it in the theater. Mostly because I knew Christopher Lambert from Highlander. I was like, well, okay, I mean, he was in that one awesome movie. This movie's got to be awesome too, right? It was less awesome. It was kind of hilariously ludicrous, actually. Not saying I didn't enjoy it. Alright, so we have removed some tiles from the game, which is going to make this more interesting. Okay. What are you doing, Amanda?
I'm talking with Toshi while you set things up.
Oh, I'm ready to go.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was waiting for you.
Heavens, we paid money to see it. Right. I'm telling Toshi about the video production debacle of this week.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so let's reveal our 4 cornerstone.
Let's do it. Another one courtesy of Luc Besson.
Oh, really? I had no idea that was a Luc Besson movie. I guess because it didn't have a waifish broken girl?
Subway.
That I recall?
This looks like exactly my sort of...
Oh, Subway is the one that you just linked to. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think that Fortress was a...
Subway does look like my sort of nonsense.
Luc Besson thing.
Hey, guess what? It has Jean Reno in it.
That seems Luc Besson-y.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, Luc Besson likes the waifish broken girls. It's a trope. What was Valerian? That was an experience. Like the first 5 minutes of that movie, amazing, absolutely
like Nikita?
fantastic.
Yeah, he and Joss Whedon should do a co-production. They both have the same foibles. Valerian had moments that were fantastic and the visuals were really great. The 2 lead actors, both of whom I quite like. they have no chemistry whatsoever.
Yeah.
I like them separately, but the two of them together have negative chemistry. You do not for 1 second believe that these two people belong together, even remotely. I also feel like they absolutely 100% wasted Rihanna. What a waste of an amazing person to have in your film. You have Rihanna in your film, and you do that?
Anyways, Luc Besson.
Yeah.
Visually interesting stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Amanda.
Yes.
Here are our cornerstone tiles. We have, and you may need the manual for
Lobster?
this.
Because I never read the comic.
I mean, I'm sure it was very psychedelic.
We saw Valerian in theaters, so we were sort of stuck unless we wanted to walk out. And I try not to walk out of movies unless I find them just hateful.
No, we haven't walked out on a movie.
Completely other thing. Cool.
All right. So we have the Merchant Union. And this is why Amanda needs the manual, is because the back 3 pages of the manual are the names of all the tiles and tell you what they do.
Okay, Merchant Union. Each time after you place a commercial tile in your city, you get 1 money from the general supply. You cannot use this money to pay for the commercial tile that you just placed.
Right, because you don't get it until it's placed.
Right.
And you get 1 victory point per commercial tile at the end of the game.
During scoring.
During scoring. So and it generates 1 money during every round.
Each time after you place a commercial tile, you get 1 money.
Oh, but it's also got a 1 money in the corner, which I thought it generates that.
I thought that was what it cost to put it out.
Oh, maybe you're right. In which case, how much money should we start with?
I don't know.
That would be in the setup at the very beginning. You're probably right. That's its cost.
I think that's its cost for...
All right, so we've got that as a potential. We've got the prison, which gets you 2 victory points per...
Yeah, requirements are top left corner. Take a random city board, take the raw good token corresponding to the raw good shown in your city center.
Oh, that's right, because that's what we generate.
So that goes up there, because that's our generating thing. Take 6 coins.
6 coins.
So we start with 6 money.
There we go.
Okay.
That's off camera. That's okay.
Yeah, well, we can move that down.
Oh, sure.
Now that the resources are moved down.
Yep.
There we go.
We've got our 6 money.
The
prison.
Prison. During scoring, this tile scores 2 VP for each residential tile in your city with a printed value of 0, 1, or 2 VP.
Okay, so cheap houses earn victory points with your prison.
Don't love that.
Well, we don't have to take it.
That's true.
We have the tour operator. Tour operator. Tour operator. Which apparently is free. It's a commercial district. And during the end of round, you get 1 money per mine that you have.
What is it?
The tour operator.
Tour operator. You get 2 money for placing this tile. At the end of each generation, count the resource tiles in your city, including the city center unless you replaced it, and receive income equal to that number.
Gotcha. That generates some income each round and some victory points.
Yeah.
And we have a park. Just park.
Just park.
Yep. It's 2 victory points
During
per
scoring
polluted, adjacent polluted
You know what? This is what I think I had this one. During scoring, this tile scores 2 VP for each nearby polluting tile. So if you surround that with your pollution, it cleans the pollution out of the air and you get victory points for having basically stuck something to purify the pollution out of your air.
Yeah. All right, so which of these do we want in our city? We get to choose one of these to keep.
Oof, I
and
don't
the
know.
rest go away. So
the park is really useful.
So potentially, this is up to 16 victory points if you have a ton of pollution.
Got the kettle boiling. Excellent. I also have a cup of tea. I appreciate a tea drinker.
So that's the most possible victory points you could get from that.
Right, 16.
This one is generating money if you have mines in your town. And money obviously is useful for buying supplies. So if we're probably in the first couple of rounds, this is going to be useful because we need resources to build stuff.
Yeah.
In the single player variant, it is assumed that your neighbors have in the first round 1 basic supply, in the second round 1 basic and 1 advanced, and in the third round all available supplies. So you can buy them at their resource cost from your neighbors, but it'll be handy not to have to do that. So this is build a whole bunch of mines and get some money, but it doesn't earn a lot of victory points.
Right.
It's more a way to generate money to buy stuff. You kind of were leaning away from getting to prison.
It's not even... It's that you get money for having put resource tiles out.
Yes.
It's not actually, paying. You're a tea addict.
I mean, Amanda drinks 3 or 4 giant mugs of tea a day.
This is my tea mug. It's a half-liter mug.
Yeah.
I got it from...
I wouldn't say it's high-quality tea. We don't use an infuser or use fresh leaves or anything like that.
I do have some very good tea in the cabinet, and I do have an infuser. I know how to make proper tea. And I don't microwave my water or anything. But yeah, when I'm drinking this much tea in a day,
we generally use just English breakfast tea or after 10 p.m. chamomile.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not that you're getting stuff towards other stuff. It's that it gives you money for having
the more resource generators you have, the more money you have. Yeah. And you get 2 VP for putting it out. Or no, 2 money for putting it out.
You get 2 money for putting it out, and then at the end of each generation, you get money for whatever resources you have. All the resource tiles you have. I don't know.
And then we've got the Merchant Union.
It's only so useful.
Which is 1 money.
The Merchant Union was... Every time you place a commercial tile in your city, you get 1 money from the general supply. You can't use it to pay for what you just put out, but you can use it for the next thing.
And then victory
2 money sounds like a rapper name. Does, doesn't it?
I feel like
in the booklet, it uses the pound symbol.
Yes.
So it's a very British sort of thing. But then when it's
it actually has a disclaimer at the very beginning of the book saying, we use the pound symbol. We hope that Her Majesty will forgive us.
And then sometimes it refers to them as L amounts. Yeah, an L coin cost. So I just call it, it's you get 2 money.
Yes. So I think, the park or... I
feel like the park or the Merchant
Bank.
Union, yeah.
Are we going to concentrate heavily into commercial?
Or industrial.
Commercial gets you money and victory points. Industrial, you want to have some power generation, because if you have none, you get negative victory points at the end of the game.
Yeah, and we also want to have... So because we're not playing with other players, it's, buying missing goods. If you're missing 1 or more goods, you can buy them from the general supply for the usual cost, as though you bought it from a neighboring player.
Yes.
So we can still get stuff.
If we have money to do it.
If we have money to do it.
And if we build a trade route, we get it at a discount.
Right.
I'm inclined to go for the commercial districts.
Me too.
Okay.
I was going to say, I feel like the commercial districts are what's going to... If the point of the solo game is to just rack up as high a score as possible...
Yep.
I feel like that's going to be the path to get the highest score.
All right. So that's our first choice.
Right.
Now we find out if we're busted because we get no commercial districts for the rest of the game. Well, we're in luck with our second cornerstone.
Nice, nice.
We have a trading post, which at each generation gets you 1 money per power plant. And then we have the city council, which earns victory points at the end of the game based on your cities, your residential. And we have a power plant, the electrical substation, which earns you 4 victory points per power generator. So this doesn't actually generate power, but if you build a lot of power plants, see, this is what you would have bought to go, or taken to go with the park. That works well with the park.
That would be great with the park, yeah.
But we don't have the park, so that's probly right out.
So the merchant union is what we already picked,
yes,
right?
That
so I'm going to put that
in our
over
hand.
here.
Yep.
I'm going to take it off the board if we're because we haven't placed things yet.
So the way this game works for chat, for anybody who has not played this before, you draft tiles, then you place tiles, then you run the end of game. I think that's how it works, or the end of round generation.
So, did you look? This is a trading post. You get 1 money per industrial.
Yes.
It costs nothing to put out, but we'd have to have industrial out as well.
But it does also work with that.
It
right?
does,
It's
yeah,
commercial.
because it's commercial. So we get money for just for placing it. So it's like free money. City council, we need residential.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think we're not doing this.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing that one.
We're not concentrating on getting all the power generation.
Yeah, we're going to need some power generation at some point, but I think the trading post works best with this.
Sure. Okay. Those are our first 2.
Yep.
Our final choice is between these 2 tiles. It is either the air quality department, which is 2 victory points for each factory on the edge of the board.
Interesting.
Or the tourism board. And this icon is a bit odd to me.
I'm going to look up tourism board.
Okay. It's like for every crossroad you have with a commercial district.
Whenever you place a tile in your city, you get 2 money for each commercial tile that the newly placed tile is directly connected to.
Okay.
You cannot use this money to pay for the tile you just placed.
Yes. So again, that's placing commercial districts.
I think that's what we need because that gets us more commercial. It's more synergy with the commercial stuff.
Yes. All right. So there's our cornerstones. Would you look at the turn order or the order of play? I believe we just go straight into round 1 after getting our
I think so.
Cornerstones.
Shuffle the cornerstone tiles, blah, 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 blah. Choose one, discarding the rest. Repeat this for the 3 tile and 2 tile stacks in this order, then choose which generation tiles you want to use. We already did that. In each generation, shuffle all the tiles of that generation and split them into 8 packs of equal size. Place the packs face down in a row and move the tiles from one pack to another as follows.
Yeah, I've done that already.
Okay. Each turn, take the leftmost pack from the row containing the largest number of tiles and reveal the tiles. Select exactly one from those revealed and take an action with it as detailed in the multiplayer game rules.
Okay, so going to the multiplayer game rules, we're playing it just as if we're playing a multiplayer game.
We're just
except instead of drafting with opponents, we're drafting from these 7 stacks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after we get our cornerstones, do we do anything before we start drafting round 1? My guess is
in
not.
In the multiplayer,
yes,
you choose your cornerstones.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 face-down cornerstones in front of you. Place the 1 remaining cornerstone in the discard pile. Reveal your chosen cornerstones by turning them face up. We don't have to place them yet. The cornerstones go out
They're
later.
basically in our hand.
Yep. And then you just Play a generation. Select a tile, take an action, pick up tiles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so first generation. So we start with a lot to choose from, and then it gets progressively smaller as we go through the generation. So here come the tiles that we have available to us. We have tenements, a 1 cost, 1 victory point residential district. We have a housing tract, again, a 1 cost, 2 victory point residential district. It has only 2 roads leading into it. We have a coal mine, generates coal. We have a gas station, a residential. It costs a gas can to purchase. Generates $3 in each round and gets you $3 when you build it. We have a gold extractor.
Ooh.
It costs a ore and it produces gold. We have a laundromat. It's a commercial district that generates $3 every round. And we have an oil well. Generates oil. So early in the game, I feel we need sources of resources. But I really like a source of gold in round 1. What do you think, Amanda?
I like producing gold round 1.
It means we're not placing any commercial districts, so we're not taking any of that.
Yeah, I mean, it means we're not getting that right away. And the gold production means we need coal, so we have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Or ore, I guess. So we would have to pay to get the ore in order to build that. And that's a level 1, so it's, 2, 3 coins? 2 coins to get it?
2 coins.
So we'd have to pay 2 to build that.
And I think we can only buy 1 resource in the first round and 2 resources in the second round.
Let me look.
It's in the single player. It's my interpretation. It's strangely worded.
No, you can only buy raw goods.
Yes.
But once per generation, you may use each active trade route to reduce the cost.
Okay.
But it doesn't... If you are missing 1 or more goods, you can buy them from the general supply for the usual cost. Which goods you may purchase depends on the current generation. In the first, you can only purchase raw. In the second, you can purchase raw and processed. So it's not that you can only do it twice. It's that you could only use trade routes
once per generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each trade route. So if we had a trade route going this way, we could use it once, and a trade route going that way, we could use it once. So we would get basically 2 per generation if we had a trade route built. So yeah.
Okay. So we only get to take 1 of these. I feel like commercial tiles are not as important early in the game, although we have stuff that requires commercial tiles for victory points at the end and to get extra money. When do we get to place our tiles? Like, we draft a tile.
I think take an action is the placing a tile. So, taking an action. Place the selected tile, place a cornerstone tile, or sell the tile for money. So, like, if you've drafted a tile that you can't use, Like when Fred did when we played the game and he ended up taking the disaster. He didn't take the disaster.
Yeah.
He couldn't build that residential because he didn't have the resources to pay for building that residential.
So if we're building a cornerstone, we can't use the tile that we drafted that round.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So placing the selected tile. So basically, we don't want to place the cornerstone unless we're looking at a hand of tiles and we're like, none of these are really that great.
Yeah. Then I think we start with resource generation or we start with gold generation.
I'm okay with starting with gold.
Okay.
If you want to do that.
Yep. So we're going to have to pay $2 dues.
Yep.
Spend 5, get
2
3
monies.
back to purchase the necessary materials to build that. The rest of these go away. And then we have to choose where to build it. So you cannot rotate your pieces. I don't know if this comes across on stream. If you can see, this has a road like that. So we have to either put it on top of our center or on the right of our center, because you have to have a road that joins to your center when you place a tile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inclined to put it on top because that leaves us a shorter route to get a trade route here.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. And now...
Yeah, otherwise we have to be very circuitous about it, and we don't want to have to do that if we
have a source for gold.
Yay!
So we get to put that out. All right, next stack.
Yeah.
Is it coming back to you?
It is. It is.
All right, we've got a $1 residential. We've got a free residential, but it's free because it's got a corner there. We've got a stone thing that requires stone to build but gets us cement. A cement farm. We've got slums, which is again a free residential that earns 0 victory points. Yeah, free residential that earns 0 victory points. We have a pressure boiler. Yep, which
Pressure boiler?
it costs $1 and coal in order to generate diamonds.
Yeah.
And we have a commercial district. The motel costs $2 and generates $4 every round. Or we could build one of our cornerstones. I kind of feel like if we're going to move into industrial, we need to get that industrial cornerstone out that gets us money every time we play an industrial.
I think you're right. And industrial does get us stuff.
Well, mostly it gets us money.
Yeah.
Which we can use to buy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it gets us... Industrial gets us materials.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Commercial gets us money.
Yeah. So
I feel like that motel isn't bad. It costs 2, but it's going to give us 4 the next 2 rounds. Right?
Yep.
Or the next 2 generations.
Yeah, exactly.
So we get a return of 6 on that. Plus a 1.
And it's a crossroads, so it leads lots of places.
Plus we get 1 for putting... Or no, we get... Once we have that out, we're going to want commercial stuff out, right?
So we have to build that before we start building commercial, which would mean drafting nothing.
Right.
And building that.
So let's build... Do we want to build that right away? It's also all the cornerstones are crossroads.
Yeah. So do you want to build that cornerstone? Costs 1?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's get that out there.
Merchant Union. You want to put it here or here?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, we'll put it over closer to you.
And it costs $1.
Yep.
Poof. We've got it.
All right.
Next stack. Now we've got another gold generator. We don't need that. We've got a residential 4-way that costs wood to build. We've got a fossil fuel plant that generates electricity. We kind of want that, but it's also a polluter. And you need coal or oil to build it.
Yeah.
We have a sawmill that generates wood and is free. We have a gas turbine plant which generates electricity and also only requires propane, which we already have. So maybe we want to get our electricity generation out of the way now. And we have a lumber mill that costs wood and $1 to make lumber.
I know that if you have residential at the end of the game and you don't have electricity, that's negative points, I'm pretty sure. Because basically you have houses that have no power.
I think it's if you have no electricity at all, regardless of what else you have negative points. Residential, the trick is you want to build a
You want to build a big block, yeah. Power, you lose 5 victory points if you do not have at least 1 power generating tile in your city. And you lose 10 if you don't have any residential in your city. You lose 4 if you only have 1. So we want at least 2 residential.
Okay.
They don't have to be fancy.
Yeah.
But we want at least 2. We got to have somewhere.
Let's get this power generation.
We have to have somewhere for our people to live.
Yeah.
So that we aren't shipping them in every day.
Should we just stick this power generation fap like that, floop, and
sure.
then we
have
a trade route?
So we pay less for our extra goods.
So when we're talking about trade routes, we have a road that leads from our city center to our neighboring city.
Yeah, you can see this one only has a road that goes this way.
Yeah.
Whereas this one has a road that only goes up and down. You cannot turn the tiles.
Yeah.
They have to stay upright like that.
All right. So we've built that. We've at least got a theory for how our village is evolving. Next stack. We have a generator of propane. We don't need that. We have a generator of stone. That could be handy. We have a residential zone. We have a truck stop. Generates $3 every round or every generation and $1 when we put it out. Plus we have this, so it gets us another $1 when we put it out.
Yeah.
And we have a pharmacy, which earns more each round. So at the end of generation 1, it gets us $1, 2 at the end of generation 2, $3 at the end of generation 3, and gets us $3 when we build it, plus $1 from there. I feel like the pharmacy is where we go.
I think the pharmacy is definitely the way we go.
Okay.
Where do you want to put it? It only goes up or down, so.
Yep. I mean, we could put it anywhere, really. Sure. All right, cool. So we immediately get $4. Next stack. I feel like we need more resource generation. We've got a power plant. We don't need that anymore. It's a non-polluting power plant, though, which is nice. It's windmills.
Nice.
We have a mineral vein, a source of ore. We have an antique store. Generates $4 when you build it and $2 every generation. It costs a gold to put out, and we generate gold. So go us. And we have a swamp that generates wood and propane. And we have a grocery store. Generates $4, well, $3 plus 1 when we build it, and 1 every round. I say we go with the commercial district.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stick it here or here?
Well, let's get rid of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of... I feel like if we stick it here, that's not too bad because we can still go up and around this way. I don't want to stick it here
Are you allowed to build a road that goes to nowhere? Okay.
You can have a dead end. You don't have to like try and Tetris it all together so that everything connects. It's that it has to connect to at least one road.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Second to last stack this generation. Residential.
Okay.
Lumber mill. Generates lumber. A pawn shop. Just generates a bunch of money when we put it in. Oh, did we get the money from this?
I didn't get money from this. You're the one sitting next to the money, so.
We got 5 for building that. So we have lots of money now. Yeah, the pawn shop just generates money. And the tavern generates 2 when we build it, and 2 per round or per generation. So I feel like we're heavy into getting commercial districts, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this tavern doesn't fit with our town design, our layout.
But we do need some residential.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like the residential.
Sure.
And we can just pay 2 and stick it down here and stick another residential next to it at some point. And that will cover us for residential.
Yeah, we want at least one more residential.
Yeah, we want at least one more residential. Is that?
No, that's gone. Yeah. All right. Last tile of this generation.
So Atlas Brood, if you're still around, once we pick this tile, I will tell you about Highlander.
Okay. This is going to be a long one.
I'm going to keep it as short as possible.
This is a source of diamonds. It costs coal, but we've got lots of money, so we could just build it.
Yep.
This is
And we have a trade route now, so we could build it for less.
Yeah. A contract office, Amanda. You'll have to look this up, because I don't know what this icon means.
Oh, I remember having to look this one up at some point. Contract office.
It's like swap.
When you place this tile, you may immediately and only once discard any number of your unplaced cornerstone tiles and take an equal number of cornerstone tiles from the discard pile, not the game box. You may only choose from the 4 to 6 tiles discarded at the end of the preliminary round. So you get to re-choose.
I don't feel like that's terribly helpful.
It's more useful when you're playing against other people, because they may have had discarded cornerstone tiles that you didn't look through.
We have a free residential, and we have a source of coal and stone.
What does it cost to put out?
It's free, but it's only got one road, which is at the bottom. And the only place we could put it is here, which means we lose these 3 spaces until we build a round to them.
Yeah. Ouch.
We've got lots of money, so I don't know that we need that.
I don't know that we need it.
Maybe we want the source of
diamonds,
or maybe we want to install one of our other cornerstones.
Can you install 2 cornerstones per?
Oh, maybe you're right.
I think you can only put one cornerstone in
first round you
per...
can only place 1. You can do 2 in the second if you haven't placed 1 in the first.
To place a cornerstone, you must return the selected generation tile to the game box unused. Then choose one of your remaining cornerstone tiles and place it in your city. You cannot have more cornerstone tiles in your city than the current generation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can't place a cornerstone this turn.
Yeah.
All right. So second residential, source of diamonds. This is right out.
Yeah, we're not using that.
This, I feel like it doesn't fit in the map that we've got.
No,
it's nice,
unfortunately.
But we can't.
If this had gone up, we could have done it, but I do feel like diamonds are pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll have other means to get residential. I don't think that like getting a cabin or whatever it is, cottages.
Yeah. The trick is we'd have to put this like here.
We could put it here.
Yeah. I feel like we have more options if we put it here.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
We'd put it down here.
We could.
But that sort of locks off.
Well, no, because we've still got a thing going down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the way. Put it down there.
Yeah, put it down near all those townhouses.
All right.
Townhouses like diamonds.
So now that costs 2.
Also, yeah.
Or it costs 1 because we've got a trade route.
It costs 1 because we've got a trade route.
That's our 1 trade route used this round.
Yep. It's generation.
And now we have a source of diamonds. Diamonds are 2nd generation. So
they're not going to...
There it is. Excellent. So we've got 2 sources of 2nd generation power. And that is the end of the round. So now we do generation stuff. So let's just go down the row here. We get $2 from this.
I wonder, will we have less glare if
we turn the light on? You could try. No. Well.
I'm trying to angle it a little better.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's better than it was.
Okay.
Because I couldn't see any of that there.
All right, so this was $2 at the end of the round. I already grabbed that. Nothing here. This is $1 at the end of 1st generation.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
So we started that round with $6, right?
Yep.
And now we've got more. We've got $11, $12.
Nice. We doubled our money.
Ooh, go us.
Good for us.
I don't think you get victory points for dollars at the end. Maybe you do? A victory point for every $3? Something like that?
Might be something like that.
Let me make the stacks for round 2.
Score 1 VP for every $2 you have left, rounded down.
Okay.
This is why you receive income at the end of the 3rd generation.
Makes sense. All right, I'm going to make the stacks for generation 2.
And I will tell the chat about Highlander. So, the original movie for Highlander was about Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, a warrior born in sort of, olden times Scotland.
1692, I believe.
I thought that was Duncan.
Scotland. I think you might be right.
See, I know Duncan better because the opening...
The TV series.
Well, the opening credits say it every single time,
yeah.
So it gets sort of burned into your memory. He was born in 1518, and when in 1536, during a battle, he was killed. He was cut down. But it turns out that some people in the Highlander universe, upon suffering a violent death, as opposed to just like going through their lives and dying of old age and natural causes, if they suffer a violent death, something in them sparks to life and brings them back to life, and they then become immortal. They fight with swords. They fight each other specifically with swords. Because they are playing the game. And the game is a sort of catch-all term for how other immortals interact with each other. And that is, they duke it out, because the only way an immortal in the Highlander universe can permanently die is by having their head chopped off. Now, there's a lot of conversation about, does it count if someone takes like an Uzi to your neck? Yeah, it does. What about like removing your whole spine? Yeah, sure, probably. Anyway, there are a lot of creative thoughts about this. But the basic idea is head detached from body equals permanent death. It also releases the power and energy that keeps you alive through the ages, your quickening, which is then absorbed by the winner of the duel. So they're one-on-one duels, and the winner gets the energy that made the loser immortal. Eventually, you gain more and more energy as time goes on if you fight enough battles, and this is all leading up to the time of the gathering, when all immortals, regardless of how peaceful they may have been in their normal lives, feel a compulsion to come together and fight to the death until only one remains. And one of the key phrases in the movie is, there can be only one. It's a whole thing, right? So in the movie, Connor MacLeod dies, comes back, is taught about being immortal from Ramirez, Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. He's Egyptian. He's played by Sean Connery.
Yes.
Who's not Egyptian.
No.
But his whole thing, he's the Spanish peacock because he's employed by the King of Spain as his chief metallurgist. So whatever. But he teaches Connor about being immortal, at which point and Connor is living with like the love of his life, who is mortal. She's a mortal woman, and they've lived together for a long time, at which point, so she's starting to get older, at which point, or they haven't lived together a long time when the Kurgan shows up. Bad guy, the Kurgan, played by Clancy Brown, with more panache than anyone else could have done it.
Yeah.
He shows up. He's a total ass and challenges Ramirez to a duel. He wins. And thus, Connor and the Kurgan become sort of, lifelong enemies. Forward to the present day, which was the 80s when this came out. Connor is living in New York under the name Russell Nash, and it is now the time of the gathering. Immortals are popping up out of nowhere and duking it out, whether they have beef with each other or not from prior encounters. So the movie was supposed to be this culmination of this centuries or millennia long struggle between different immortals that ends with this climactic battle between Connor and the Kurgan. And then they went and made a sequel. Highlander 2, The Quickening.
It's not great.
Whatever you think The Quickening is about, whatever you think Highlander 2 probably involves, I guarantee you it is goofier than you are thinking. I promise you it is goofier than you think it is.
There's actually a hilarious
There's like a
game
role-playing game where you play as screenwriters told to write a sequel to the original Highlander movie, and it works best if your players have never seen Highlander 2 and don't know what it's involved. And
you get production notes from the producer periodically throughout the role-playing game.
Oh yeah, we got Sean Connery back. Put him back in.
But he's dead. No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We want this to have an environmental message.
Can you involve aliens?
Aliens are really big right now. Put aliens in. Whatever you think it involves, it is goofier. So then they made a third one, which reeled it back in from the second one. And then they made a series. They made a TV show. And the TV show is very much more in the vein of the original movie and follows Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. Same clan, different vintage. Who is supposed to be a kinsman to Connor, but born, 150 years later. And also immortal. And so it follows Duncan MacLeod, and the show takes place in like the mid-90s in the fictional town of Seacouver, which is a cross between Seattle and Vancouver because it's supposed to be in the United States, but it was definitely filmed in Vancouver. And the series lasted for 6 seasons. It's like 5.5 seasons. The 6th season was a short season that they used a lot of episodes of to try and figure out a good spin-off. Unfortunately, their best possibility for a spin-off, they didn't go with, which is a real bummer because they were convinced they needed a spin-off with a female lead. And they tried to introduce a bunch more female characters, and then they didn't use any of them because really the only one that resonated with the audience was a character that they already had, Amanda. And then it turned out that she and their male lead had negative chemistry with each other and, in fact, had like a real brutal relationship on and off set. They were not friends, and it shows. That only lasted 1 season, but they should have gone with the Mythos and Joe show because that's definitely the best combo of actors. They had more chemistry than anyone else. So
Amanda has thoughts.
I do have thoughts. These are not hot takes. These are the coldest of cold takes.
Begin.
Yeah. But that's Highlander. Highlander is basically about people with swords dueling to chop each other's heads off and lots of historical garb. Accuracy, not required.
No. All right, so we have a generator of oil and propane.
Okay.
We have
We don't really need the propane.
a commercial district that costs a rubber hose, generates $5 every generation and $4 when we install it.
So it needs plastics.
We have a
food court.
Residential area that requires cement. We have a combined cycle plant, generates power and pollution and requires propane, but generates 7 victory points at the end of the game. So that's an easy 7 victory points. But it generates filth. We have a loan office, which is free for us because we generate gold. We have a restaurant, which is free for us because we generate propane. We have
I feel like that restaurant may be what we want.
Source of steel and diamonds. We already have diamonds.
Yeah, I don't think we need that.
And we have a residential area that costs $3 and doesn't fit with our other residential area.
So, I feel like the restaurant would be really good for us.
And it's a crossroads.
Yeah.
Restaurant?
Restaurant.
Okay.
We get 4 immediately, and we get 4 at the end of the generation.
Yep.
We still need, where do we want to put it? Put it here?
Or we could put it there.
Let's put it here.
Yeah. So we get $4. I'm just going to take $1 away and put 5 in. Okay. Next tile. We generate diamonds, right? So we could get a department store for free. We're gonna have so many commercial districts. We have condominiums, cost $2, 2 victory points, and would fit well with our existing residential. Log houses, they require boards. We have a deep quarry, generates ore and rocks. We have a hotel, generates $2 when we install it and $5 at the end of each generation. And we have apartments, cost $2 and get us 3 victory points.
Ooh.
So at some point, we're going to need to install another residential area.
This is strictly better than this, because if we put it in that corner, it doesn't matter if it has the down.
Yeah.
Like that, what you're paying for in victory points is having that additional point of egress.
Yep. This is
But our residential is already in the corner.
No, that costs $3 to build that.
Crud. We shouldn't have put this here.
No?
It creates pollution. We get negative victory points for
having
pollution next to residential.
Too late now.
Yeah. Oh well. So that basically cancels out the victory points for having that.
So one of these two?
Yeah, I think the 3 one.
Okay. Costs $2.
Yep.
We'll stick it down here. Get rid of all these. I didn't even think about that generating pollution.
I was thinking more about, it being a good place to sort of get rid of it. I had said we could put it up here.
Yeah.
We should have kept it up with the other.
I should have listened to you.
I'm good at this game. I'm actually legitimately good at this game.
Treasury gets us a victory point for every $5 before final income. So before the round 3 income, this gets a victory point for every $5 that we have.
Okay.
The combined cycle plant, we don't need more energy, but there's victory points. A plastics factory, would cost us $1 to build, I believe.
Yeah, because we need oil to do it.
Plastic. Or a different plastics factory that costs more. That costs $2.
So this costs both one of these. So we would only have to pay for that. This costs 2 and either of those.
Yes.
So both of them cost 2 things. It's just that it's a different combo of things. But because we have, this would cost the same if we didn't have a trade route.
Yeah.
But we have a trade route.
We have a nightclub.
Ooh.
Generates $8 every generation. And we have concrete houses that require concrete and $2 to build.
Well, we could do the nightclub and put it here and get our second.
Sure. Costs $4.
Costs $4.
Okay. And we get $1 for building it.
Yep.
That dollar cannot be spent on building it, but that's fine. Okay. We've got 4 more stacks in this generation.
And at some point we're probably going to want to build.
Yeah.
And the tourism board is 1 for every one of the commercial things that touches it. It's 2 money.
Yeah, I don't know that that's terribly useful.
So we'd have to put it like there and get a blue here, a blue here.
Yeah.
And that would be 2, 4, 6, 8 maybe. So that may not be the most useful thing to put out.
All right, here we are. We have a source of coal and propane. A source of steel that would cost us money to build.
Yeah, we'd have to build a fair amount.
A source of gold and gems? Or what is this?
Jewelry?
Oh, no, rope. Gold and rope.
Oh.
And a commercial district. The Forum. Get $5 plus 1 right away.
It's gold and wiring. It's copper.
Oh, it's copper wire. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's a smelter.
Gotcha. Well, we've already got gold.
Yeah, I'm not.
Steel might be useful.
Yeah, but we'd have to pay a pretty penny to... not too much.
We'd have to pay 3. Because we have 1 trade route left.
That we haven't used, yeah.
Yeah. So we'd have to pay 3 for a source of steel.
Yeah.
Which would ultimately save us 3.
Yeah. If we build things with steel later.
Although it would be 2 victory points at the end of the round, because you get 2 victory points for every...
That's true.
Or we could build this forum that gets us a bunch of money. Which is 2 victory points anyways.
So here's my question. Are we going to want to eventually build this trading post that gets us 1 money for every industrial thing we have at the end of the round?
Oh, good point. We would want to have that built.
We get 5
this
immediately.
round if possible.
Yeah, we get 5 immediately for for building it, and then it gives us more money for any of the industrial things we have. We have at least 2 industrial things, so we'd get at least 2 coins off of it, and we get 5 coins for building it.
And this gets us 2 coins and 5 for building it, so it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Probably go with the cornerstone?
Yeah, because the cornerstone is also going to give us money at the end of the 3rd generation.
Yeah.
As well. And then money turns into victory points, whereas that one doesn't, right?
So stick it here, and then potentially we might eventually build that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that costs us nothing and gets us 5.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Next one. A source of stone and wood. Not bad. Residential. Residential. We don't seem to care much about those.
Residential is not where we're trying to get our points.
And a source of glass. So do we want stone and wood, neither of which we currently have?
Yeah.
Or do we want glass? Because next generation, we're going to be trying to get the really rare stuff.
I feel like glass wouldn't be a bad thing
It's
to
going to cost
have.
2 to build it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We have plenty of money.
I feel like we go with glass generation.
Okay. I'll spend 2.
How do you feel about putting it here?
Sure.
No, that locks this off. We'd have to come down at it.
Oh, where else can we build it? Does it generate pollution?
Yeah.
Put it up there.
Let's put it up here.
Okay. All right. I'm glad I asked about the pollution thing.
Yeah.
All right. And now we have a source of glass. Excellent. Making progress. Next set. This is the second to last draft in this generation. Source of ore and coal.
Atlas Brood, if you're still around, what sort of tea are you drinking? May I ask?
A residential. A source of wire. And a commercial district. Or we could build... Oh, no, we can't build our third cornerstone yet. This one generates $1 right away, plus 1, and 6 at the end of the round. Maybe we need the wire.
I feel like we need the wire.
Yeah, let's spend 2 to build that.
How about up here?
Perfect. And now we have a source of wire. Yeah, we've got lots of second generation.
Which is good.
Generation now.
Because the third generation, I feel like, uses a bunch of the second generation stuff.
Yep.
Okay, last stack.
Last stack. This is a postal service. Generates 2 money at the end of the round, and then something if we lose a resource. I don't know if you want to look up the postal service.
I remember that being weird. Whenever you are about to place a tile in your city, the postal service acts as a virtual raw good of any type. The requirement of the tile is reduced by exactly 1 raw good of your choice. You need not choose the same raw good every time. This tile has no effect on tiles that do not require any raw good. Additionally, you get an income of 2 money at the end of every generation.
Okay.
So it provides a total of 4 money over the course of the game, which is equivalent to 2 victory points. Plus, you're holding on to more money because you're using fewer raw goods.
Or we could build a lumber mill. Again, it'll cost us $2.
Yeah.
But
you have the power of lumber.
Yeah. Or we could build a stone crusher, which I don't know if we care about cement. We've already got glass.
Yeah, I don't know that we care about cement.
I feel like lumber might be useful.
Lumber might be useful. Yeah.
Or we could use the post office to not pay $2 every time we use a raw good, because we don't have very many raw goods.
Yeah. What do you think?
One of our things generates dollars based on our number of commercials.
On our number of industrials.
Industrials, so maybe we want to build the
I think we want the lumber mill.
Okay, it's going to cost $2.
I say we put it here.
Yes, there is a road that leads there.
Yeah, goes up to there.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Excellent. That's the end of the generation. Now we do...
Generation stuff?
Yep. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing. $2.
Yep.
Nothing. $2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of 2, it gives you 2.
Nothing. Nothing.
1 for every industrial.
1, 2, 3, 4, $5.
Yep.
Yeah. $4.
And then 8 from that nightclub.
Wow.
Yeah. Money, not a problem for us at the moment. But a lot of the things in the third generation are very expensive to build.
Yeah. So it's a good thing that we've got lots of money. Are you ready for the final generation?
I'm
ready. We have a commercial district that requires race cars. So it would cost us $10.9 to build.
Yeah. I don't know that's worth it.
Yeah. Too bad it didn't show up later.
Yeah.
It's commercial also, district.
We couldn't build it.
No?
Look at how the road goes.
Oh.
It's like an end
you're right.
point,
yeah.
like here.
All right, so that's right out.
Yeah, so we can't build that.
We have a commercial district that the stock exchange requires us to have 3 commercial districts.
We do.
Generates lots of money.
Neat.
Residential.
Yeah, it's one of those really expensive residentials.
Modern factory requires us to have 3 factories and generates wood, steel, plastic, and diamonds. Would just get us plastic and steel.
Yeah.
Another residential.
That was a little easier for us to build if we wanted it.
Automobile plant.
Builds autos.
Yes. But doesn't... Well, we could put it here. Kind of screws us. Requires steel, glass, and plastic. We don't have glass.
We have glass.
Don't have
we don't
plastic
have
or steel.
Plastic, yeah.
So we'd have to spend 6 minimum to build it. But it generates automobiles.
Yeah.
It's 10 victory points.
Yeah.
That might be worth it.
It might be.
Commercial. No, I don't want to build that because that just stops this. We can't build anything over here. And a jewelry store. That generates a lot.
That's a jewelry store. And another jewelry store?
No, they're the same.
They're the same, except this one comes down and this one goes up.
Gotcha.
And we'd have to pay because we don't have a jewelry
I think the
generator.
stock exchange.
I think the stock exchange is the way to go.
Or we build our cornerstone.
If we build our cornerstone, we build it here, and we have to hope we get 2 more commercials.
Yeah.
What do you think? We could do the modern factory, which gets us victory points it gets us more money based on the industrials later, and it gives us 2 of the second tier goods that we don't have.
Or we could just get the automobile plant.
Where would we build it? Right here? That's the only place we can build it.
I mean, we could build it here. It generates pollution.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
Okay. It's 10 victory points, though.
It is.
I feel like that's the biggest net gain.
It is. We do have to spend 6 to get it.
9, 17? No, 16.
Yeah.
Which is 8 victory points. So, yeah, although this costs us 6 to build.
Or we could do the cornerstone and hope we get 2 more commercials to put here.
Yeah, let's do the cornerstone.
Okay.
Build none of them. All right. Next up.
If the auto plant doesn't pollute, you could put it down. It did.
It definitely pollutes.
It definitely pollutes.
Well, we've got another auto plant.
Oh, well, great.
It's got the same issue as the first one, although we could build it here.
Yeah. But we want a commercial.
Yeah,
we want commercials there and there.
We have a nuclear power plant. We don't need, it's just straight victory points, really.
Yeah.
We have roofing supplies.
This actually isn't exactly the same as the other auto plant because the other one had a branch that went this way.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it goes this way, so we could actually build it here.
Oh, good point.
Or here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Jewelry manufacturer. And I believe we have all the resources necessary to build that, so it would be free.
Glass, diamonds, gold. Yeah, it would be free.
We got a crappy road location.
Yeah, we'd be stuck. We'd have to put it here.
Or here and just deal with the pollution.
Victory points there, yeah.
Collection agency, $13. Well, $14. Car dealership, costs an automobile to build.
Yeah.
Or roofing supplies, costs copper wiring to build, which we have. Might be roofing supplies is the choice here.
Yeah, just straight up gets us money.
Like build
and
it
we
here?
can put it here, yeah.
Yeah. So we get $6 when we construct it.
Yep.
And we're going to get $10 at the end of the round.
Later
so 16,
on.
So that's 8 victory points for that.
That automobile plant, I
Do you want to build that automobile plant here?
We could.
It would cost 6.
But then we get 10 out of it.
Yeah. I think this is more points, because it's also connecting to that.
True, yeah.
Okay. All right, next one.
Okay. I like this solo mode.
Yeah, this is fun. All right, we've got another commercial, costs rubber, clothing store.
Okay.
But could go there.
Yep.
We've got a stadium.
Ooh.
It's straight up $25 to build.
It's just expensive to
25
build.
victory points. So it just converts dollars straight to victory points. It's better.
It's a 1-to-1 instead of a 2-to-1.
We've got a castle. We've got a modern foundry. Generates glass, gold, copper, and cement. Jewelry manufacturer. Costs glass, gold, and diamonds.
We have it all.
But we don't really... Well, we could build it here if we wanted to.
Could go there.
And a mansion. So do we want to get our last...
Commercial?
Like the
there.
commercial link there.
We could do that. We could straight up get the stadium, trade in 25 coins, though that would...
We have 25 coins.
Going forward.
Yeah. We're not that bad off.
Leaves us with 12. If we built the clothing.
So the 25 coin thing effectively is 12 victory points.
Yeah. It's
whereas,
more building other buildings that need us to spend money.
Yeah.
I hate getting those big ones not last or second to last turn because you don't know what you're going to need to spend.
Get 10 victory points for the jewelry manufacturer, and we get 16 plus 2 more.
I feel like the stadium is the right play, and we'll probably get another commercial that we can
It's the equivalent of 12 victory points. Okay. Where do we put it? Perfect.
It's a crossroad.
Yep.
So we can put it wherever the hell we want.
That costs us 25.
Yep.
That was expensive.
But it's 25 victory points right off the bat.
Yep. Good deal. Next set. Residential, which we're ignoring.
Yep.
Very
fancy looking Victorian houses under glass.
This hospital that needs to be adjacent to houses, so that doesn't really help. Or requires residential districts or something.
I think it's that you get 2 victory points for every residential that it's next to, and you lose a victory point, or 1 victory point for every residential it's not next to.
Okay.
So that's only for if you were focused on residential stuff.
The power plant.
Yeah.
Have a warehouse that earns you extra victory points at the end of the game for generations or resources you're generating. And we have a
I like that the buildings
toy
get
store.
Progressively more and more futuristic looking as you go through the game.
The toy store would cost us 3.
Okay, because it needs plastic.
Yep, because it needs plastic. But we could stick it down here.
Yeah.
Which would generate an extra $2, right?
Yep.
Plus it earns $2 plus 1.
Yeah.
And 15 more.
At the end.
That's probably the way to go.
I think it is. Out of all of these, I think it's the way to go. Because
okay.
we don't really need the
So let's stick that there. Awesome. I hope we're getting a good score here. I'm not really counting it in my head. All right. Residential that requires cement. Electronics factory. We don't have steel, but we have everything else we need for that. Computer store requires electronics, so too bad.
Yep.
Watch store requires gold. And plumbing supplies, we can't build because there's nowhere. Well, we could build it here.
Yeah, we could build that there.
And it requires copper, which I believe we have.
We do.
We have $9 remaining currently.
So the electronics factory, we would have to spend 3 to build. But these, we would have to spend nothing to build.
Yeah. The electronics factory gets us 10 victory points straight away.
Yeah.
Those generate money.
Yep.
Plus, we earn victory points. No,
we earn money for having...
This gets us victory points at the end for commercial districts.
So...
I like being able to build advanced resources.
I think the electronics factory is the way to go.
Okay. Costs us 3.
Yep. We're going to stick it here.
Sure.
Because we can go up and over with that.
And we have used up all of our trade routes.
Our trade routes. So, yeah. From now on, we got to pay full price.
Yep. All right. We've got import office. You're going to have to tell me what this does. Oh, it just allows us to get a basic or medium resource for free.
Yep.
Computer store requires electronics. Well, we don't manufacture. Or no, we do manufacture electronics.
Now we do.
We just did that.
Yeah.
Nursing home and condos and restaurant. I think the computer store. Right? It's free.
Yep.
It's
it is
free
indeed,
money.
And we had a great space to stick it.
And it's going to generate $24 at the end of this round.
12 victory points plus the victory points that we get off of it for having commercials.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
Last pick.
Yeah.
Last pick. Residential. Or another source of electronics.
Commercial.
Oh. And we can stick it here.
Yeah, we can.
Which makes a larger residential block.
Yes, it does.
Although it'll be next to...
It needs lumber and steel, though, so it takes our last money. No, it takes more. We don't have enough money to build it.
You're right. It would require 8 money to build it.
Yeah. Modern housing doesn't cost anything to build.
Yeah, okay.
It's straight up 3 victory points.
Yeah. Plus we're building a larger residential zone.
Yeah.
Although we're building into pollution.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What do you think?
I mean, of the only other option, the only other option is to sell the tile.
Yeah.
Sell a tile for straight up dollars.
I say we put that out.
Okay.
It gets us. It's basically it's a free tile that gets us 1 victory point at the end, all told.
All right. Final End of generation.
All right.
Nothing, 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 nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. This generates 2. Nothing, but that's going to get us victory points. Let's not forget that.
3.
This generates 3. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, although I should put this out. There.
Yeah, because we got that.
Nothing. This generates...
1 per yellow.
1 per yellow.
6.
Nice. Excellent.
Nothing. Nothing. 4. That's not generation.
That's end
that's
game.
End game.
Yep.
15.
15. 8. I'm going to change some of these out.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 20. Okay.
All right. So now, which one did we just do? The 8?
Yep.
10?
Okay. Took out 2 20s and put in a 50.
24.
I'll put in 25 and take out 1.
Okay.
All right.
So scoring.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
I don't have my
I have my phone.
calculator. Okay.
Okay.
They actually do provide scoring sheets
Yeah.
to calculate your final score, but I don't think it's necessary
I
for us
don't
to
think
do
we need
that.
to use one. All right. So, neighborhoods. Residential tiles automatically form neighborhoods by themselves or with other residential tiles. Let's first add up the victory. It has a whole order.
Yeah.
Let's add up the victory point values on the residential and public tiles in my city as printed in the top right corner of the tiles.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is equal to the number of commercial. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 plus 25.
Okay.
This generates 0, but...
It was giving us money.
Did we get that extra money?
No, we didn't. No, I don't think we did.
Oh, it's an end game money. Yeah.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. So add another 8.
Okay.
Because money is going to end up counting
Yep.
up. Okay. Neighborhoods. We have a size of 3. That gets us 6 VP. Goods, as shown at the top of your city board. Each raw good. Oh,
1.
hold on. The value of a neighborhood depends on its size. Do not add the face values of the residential tiles, as we've already considered them under tiles. You added the values from that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Goods. So, 1
2,
for each
4,
raw.
6, 8,
8,
9, 19.
Okay. Okay.
69.
Nice. I have an emote for that.
Okay. I'll let you find it.
Nice. Money. 1 victory point for every 2.
Okay, so we've got 75, 85, 86. So that's 43. Nice.
And pollution. For every residential tile in your city, check whether it is nearby 1 or more polluting tiles. You lose 2 VP for each orthogonally adjacent and 1 VP for every directly adjacent. So we have 4, minus 4.
Yeah.
We don't have a ghost town. We have power.
Yep.
And we have residential tiles. We have more than 1. And we have power, so we don't lose any of that. 108 points.
All right, so on the single player ranking.
It says if we used the 5+ tiles,
Which we did.
we are at the top end of the apprentice level, which isn't the bottom level. It's 109 points is the top of the apprentice level, and 110 is fellow.
If we hadn't had that pollution,
we would
have gotten fellow.
If we had placed this up here instead, we would have been back up in fellow. Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
I would play that solo or co-op anytime. That was great.
I'm curious if we had had the disasters, what difference it would have made.
Ugh, would have been gross.
Yeah. But, that was totally, I jammed on that.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Good suggestion.
Yeah, it's about 9:30.
Oh, perfect. Good timing.
So, yeah, we have some time for a little break before I do story time later. Tonight, over on my channel, which is Merriman Lion. So that's the nice in the chat. Follow over to Merriman Lion in about half an hour, and we will be reading Chapter 3, Senior Apprentice. Yeah, thank you for the bits.
Thank you very much.
We will be reading Chapter 3 of the first book in the Immortals Quartet by Tamara Pierce, Wild Magic. And we'll be hanging out more with Dane, Onua, Alana, and Numair.
Yes, the naked Numair.
He gets clothes.
Fine.
He doesn't stay naked for the entire series.
Could wear feathers. All right. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Really glad we got to do that.
That was great.
I think next Tuesday, do you have anything going on Tuesday that's going to go late into the day?
I don't know how late it's going to go into the day.
Okay.
Probably not too late. I think it's just a staff meeting.
Okay.
Let me look.
Because I would like to play. Oh, thank you very much for the follow.
Who won? We both did. We were playing co-op.
Yeah. So in the co-op version, there's a table at the back of the book to determine how well you did. We didn't do that well.
We weren't in the lowest.
No, we didn't completely bottom out, but
no, we were. We
were 2 points away from the third
being
rank,
in the
from
third
the bottom.
Rank. It's intern, apprentice, fellow, foreman, master, and boss. And we were using all of the tiles, so we were in the hardest rank.
Yeah.
So if we had had 0 to 89 points, we would have been intern. We got 108, and apprentice is 90 to 109 points. So we were 2 points away from breaking into the fellow level, into the middle of the road. We were very close. We had a misplay. We put this down here when we should have put it up here. And that meant that we lost 2 victory points because we had pollution near there. We ended up...
they can't do it.
Yeah.
Here. This is what she's talking about.
We put this here, and it's a pollution generating tile. We
it's
should
right
have
next
put it
to
up.
A residential.
We had been sort of debating which way, like where to put it, but we ended up putting it down here, which ended up meaning that it was next to a residential tile. It being next to a residential tile meant that we lost 2 victory points during the end of the scoring. Losing 2 victory points took us out of the fellow level. If we had had those 2 victory points, we would have been there. We misplayed. Yeah. This also took away 2 points because we ended up putting a residential there at the very end. If we hadn't had that third residential,
it generated 4 points.
Yeah, because it generated 3
and
points
lost us
plus,
2, so it gained us 2 points. There was nothing else that...
So having that third residential bumped us from getting 3 victory points for 2 residentials to 6 points.
Oh, okay. So it generated 6 victory points and lost 2.
So it generated a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
So Atlas Brood, in about half an hour, just under half an hour, I will be reading. I read out loud. I am a children's librarian.
Do you want to put a link in chat?
Yeah, I'll put my channel in chat. I read out loud every night at 10 p.m. Eastern. I am a children's librarian most of the time. And
well, all of the time. You're always a children's librarian.
I am always a children's librarian, even when I'm not working. It's just a constant state of being. And at 10 p.m. Eastern, I read children's books out loud. I have been reading books by Tamara Pierce, who's one of my favorite authors. She's a wonderful author. She's been writing since the early 80s, and I grew up on her books. I love them. I discovered them in 5th grade, and I have loved them ever since. We just, the other night, at the beginning of the week, finished her first quartet. We worked through the Song of the Lioness quartet, and we are now in the Wild Magic, in the Immortals quartet, and we just started book 1 last night. We read the first 2 chapters last night. Do I read young adult books? These are technically at the upper end of, like, what I would say are children's chapter books. They edge into young adult. Discworld? I haven't read any Discworld.
Well, not on stream.
Not on stream.
You have read a lot of Discworld.
I have read a ton of Discworld. We must own the Tiffany. We at least own We Free Men.
Oh, sure.
We own, like, all the Discworld books, and I think we own at least the first 2 or 3 Tiffany Aching books. I haven't read them on stream, because I only started doing this about a month ago, and that got us through, at a chapter or 2 a night, that got us through the first quartet of books, and now we're starting the second quartet. Plucky Girl Adventures with Magic and Monsters. We Free Men would be a ton of fun on stream. I would need to locate it.
Crivens!
Crivens!
I mean, it's in that bookcase.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that
buried.
bookcase. That bookcase is pretty stacked.
Well, it's filled too deep, and it's got a bunch of stuff in front of it.
Yeah, the Battleground Games and Hobbies is based in the Boston area, the greater Boston area. The 3 store locations that are currently not open for business, but hopefully will be someday in the future.
Yeah.
If not for events, at least for coming in and connecting with other people via like a bulletin board, or at least picking up some board games, are in Norton, down south,
by the Xfinity
Center. And Abington, which is slightly less south. And then up north of Boston in Saugus, near the Fuddruckers, just past the Red Roof Inn. And, roasted oolongs. They're near DC, a little far.
No, that's a bit far.
But you could probably look us up and see if you ever find yourself in the Boston area for, say, PAX East. We do run a booth at PAX East when PAX East runs. I'm not going to go guaranteeing that for next year because the future is uncertain.
Who knows? Yeah.
That's why the internet, exactly. Yeah. Well, I would be reticent to go to a convention without a guarantee of being healthy and not dying. But
I'm less concerned for myself, more concerned for your parents.
I'm concerned for my parents, but I'm also concerned for us because
I do have a history of...
You have a history of some respiratory issues since having pneumonia as a kid, and coughs tend to linger for you. And I worry about us because neither of us are as young as we used to be. Time has moved on.
Yeah, time does come for us all.
Time is marching on, and time is still marching on. You're older than you've ever been. Now you're even older. I had a dream last night that I got to see my mother and hug her. She lives 5 minutes away from me, and I have not seen her in a month and a half. How long have we been together? Andy and I met when I was in high school, and I was in high school in the late 90s. So we've been together for a long time. We got married in 2003, and we had been together for years prior to that. So yeah, we have been together since 1995.
Sounds about right.
My mom and Skype are not,
No.
That's not going to work out terribly well.
You could FaceTime her on your phone if you wanted.
I could FaceTime her. She unfortunately lives in a Wi-Fi dead zone.
Oh, it's awful.
It's horrible. It's lovely and kind of the dream. It is. I have said many, many, many times that I am exceedingly lucky in that I get to have a sleepover with my best friend every night.
Yay.
We are...
And our cat.
Yeah, and our cat, who is now crouched down by Andy's feet. Yeah, I'm very, 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 very lucky. And I don't know, being stuck together, our apartment is fairly small, and yet we've managed to make it work. I'm still working. The library is not physically open, but I am still doing programs. I'm doing science videos. If you want to see them, if you look up Thomas Crane Public Library on YouTube, you will find our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. We're putting stuff up. Book suggestions. You can apply for an e-card. I don't know what they're doing. They've been talking about restricting e-cards based on like address and stuff, but your local library probably does have ebooks and streaming movies and music and TV. And I am 100% sure that whoever your local library is, they would love for you to make use of their resources, because the more their resources are getting used during this time period when they're not physically open, the better an argument they have to stay open to their local government. Libraries, to me, libraries are an essential part of a functioning modern society. They should be, because thank you. I like to think that we are awesome. And I appreciate the vote of confidence. But yeah, we live and die on numbers. Thank you, Lobster. We are now at over 100 followers. The disaster tiles are still in there. We're now at over 100 subscribers on YouTube, which means that we can exchange that really ugly YouTube link for a custom YouTube link that actually says Thomas Crane Public Library, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, we have virtual concerts. We've been hosting Zoom concerts. We've got the reference librarians are putting up book suggestions and tutorials on how to use various streaming circuit stuff. Borrow some ebooks. Look on their website, because ebooks are the most common resource that people look for, and e-audio and stuff. You'll always remember us as UC4_UUD7MELBA 78-NJ3F0VQ.
Who could forget
memories. That? Just rolls off the tongue. But do check out, and if they have like an online chat or something, hit them up on that chat. Because
is this everything? Oh, instructions.
Instructions, yeah. They will want to be able to tell their local government and their like city council or whoever handles their funding, yeah, look, we have people using our chat. We have people calling in. We have people asking questions. We aren't just having people borrow ebooks. We're having people using like our e-magazines and watching our movies and downloading music and audiobooks. We have people watching our YouTube stream. We have people tuning in for our concerts. I'm actually setting up, and this is something that I can't believe I got permission to do. I am setting up a Twitch stream.
Oh, yes.
A Twitch channel for my library. I have been given permission to set up an official Twitch channel for my library, so that I can stream library events from my Switch from Animal Crossing.
It's going to be great.
So I'm really excited about that. I need to make it look fancy. So yeah, check out what your local library or even your DC area. I don't know if you're like in like Maryland or something, or Virginia. Check out your state library, because like Boston Public Library is our state library, and they are required by Massachusetts state law to offer a library card to every resident of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So check your state library, check and see if you have a state library that has the same requirement, because if they do, then you can get double the library card for double the checkouts.
Yeah.
There's a library tip for you. Get more.
Pro tips.
More library cards equals more books. It's not hex with a dash and a Q in it. Yeah, not so much. But you want some merch for it, I will pass that. I'm going to pass that along to the assistant director because I think he will find that very funny. Because since we set this up like 2-3 weeks ago, we have been trying to get people to subscribe to it so that we can get rid of this really ugly URL. I will tell him, yeah, I mentioned it. We linked to it, and now people want merch from us. We actually do have some Thomas Crane Library merch.
I got a custom URL for the Battleground Games YouTube channel, and I can't remember what it is because it's not Battleground Games because Battleground Games is PUBG.
Right.
So, I think it's Battleground Games Hobbies or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Just use the link. Use the link
that's down below. We just want UC4_UUD7MELBA 78-NJFOVQ merch. Yeah, just that on a black shirt.
All right.
Hit me up on YouTube. Share, and subscribe, and then just that. In about 14 minutes on my channel.
Story time.
And
you have to switch the cameras around.
Yeah, got to move some cameras around. I've got to get myself settled, get myself some chamomile with honey so that my voice isn't scratchy during the stream. And we'll be doing other streams on Tuesday night. We will stream another board game. We may
and on my Twitch channel,
is
there.
That's me. I'm Merriman Lion. That's me. It is a children's book reference because that's how I roll.
Yep.
And I will be reading in about 13 minutes now. I'll be reading chapter 3 of Wild Magic. But that's book 1 of the next quartet, so you don't really need a whole lot of background. I'll be going through it real quick.
All right.
So, yeah.
We'll see you there.
We'll see you there in a little bit.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your tea.
Have a good weekend, folks.